What's up, guys? This is DJ. Welcome to Gamer Bro Hulk Reviews. Today, I'm going to be mixing things up a little bit. I have a really close friend who is a massive Batman collector, and I'm going to start introducing him and featuring him throughout my collection. And I think you guys will really like the stuff he has. His name is PC, and I will introduce him to you now. Say hi, PC.
What's going on, YouTube? I am PC, and I am a big Batman collector, Batman fan, and we're going to do a couple reviews for you of some of my personal collection that are very near and dear to my heart. So I hope you're enjoying what I'm going to show you today. So, first one on the list is this beautiful gem right here. Toy Biz Line 1989 Batman movie franchise. This is the pretty much one of three variants that came out for this movie line. This is actually the original that you would mostly see in toy stores, mostly like Ames, Hills, even our beloved Toys R Us. If you notice in this variant, it's pretty much the heads that make the differences for all the figures. This one is the famous rounded chin that you see right there. The ears are somewhat more curved with the head, but if you also notice, the ears are more blocked, just like the movie. So this one was made mostly to play with, just like the movie version. Now, the other two variants, you would be pretty much a pain to try to find. But there was also KB Toys, like I said, Hills and Ames, depending on where you went. The different versions I always thought were pretty much the coolest because the second variant to this is the famous square jawline that you pretty much heard from other collectors. Now, the head for it is going to be, like I said, the square line, pretty much to be just like this figure here, which is based off of the Superpowers line from the 80s. However, this figure was never made for this movie line. The figure itself was actually just created not that long ago for the new relaunched Superpowers line. But if you notice for the second figure, which unfortunately I don't have on card, but I do have as a loose toy somewhere in my collection hidden, is that if you take a look at the head for the square variant, it actually looks like a rendition of the old Neil Adams design for the ears pointed close to the back, just like how you see right about here on the side for the head, how it's more curved. The square jawline would be more of like the block kind of like version, almost like a Neil Adams drawing. But it's also supposed to be the rendition of what's on the card, actually, for that square line. Now, for the accessories that come with the figure, it's pretty much the famous grappling hook and the batarang. And its utility belt is pretty much the grappler utility belt. So you would pull this right out. You can actually connect it to the batarang, and you would pretty much just have it recoil itself, bringing it right back to wherever you had it hooked or whichever. And obviously, as you see with the toy line, these are the most famous of them. You got, of course, the figures of the Joker and Bob the Goon, followed by the famous Batwing with the hand clapping action, and then the Batmobile, which I thought was kind of cool because it kind of did it more like the 80s open top Batmobile as it changed to the movie, and then the ever famous Batcave, which is the one toy that I never got in my childhood, except up until recently. That's a Grail collection complete.
So, PC, how much was this figure?
Back in the day, you would get this anywhere from $2.99 to about $3.99. Pretty good, pretty cheap, depending on the store you went to. This particular figure I got because of the condition of like how pretty flat the card is, except for the little blemish of the old, what looked like Hills sticker. If you see the very faded Hills symbol in the corner there, I got this one for 25. And this was like a few years ago at a Comic-Con in our local city. So that was a pretty good find. I know 25 may have seemed to be a little bit high at the time, but when you think about it and you're very passionate about a collection, you kind of want to like pull the trigger. But now, with this particular way that it's set up and how the card is, perfect card and also unpunched, you're probably going to be looking at anywhere from about 60 to about $80, depending on the right collector. Especially now that Michael Keaton Batman has blown up once again because of the Flash movie, that pretty much nostalgia is going to be hitting an all-time high.
So out of the three variants, is there a difference in price?
It's pretty much the third one being the rarest. The third one, if you ever come across it, the bottom jaw piece, the whole facial piece, is to Michael Keaton's facial structure. But they don't actually change that until the Dark Powers line, which is the Dark Knight collection, which is the continuation of the '89 Batman movie. But that one's going to be like almost, I want to say, like a secret rare because not too many people know about the third variant. They only know about the square jawline and the rounded jawline. But with the third one, that would be the variant part. You're probably almost going to be looking at $100 if it's in a perfect card condition, unpunched. Second variant, the square, not as rare, but it still is rare. I recently found that at a comic shop actually, and they wanted about 35 for it. Not a bad price, but you can't help but think like, is it a little bit too much? Is it not? Then again, at this point, this is when Michael Keaton was coming back for the entire Batman franchise. So could have jumped on that, but there's always this chance, like any other type of collector, you never know. There could be a better price out there. It could even be a better product. But other than that, and for this normal piece, for the rounded line, you're probably going to actually get anywhere from 25 to 30 because, well, pretty much it's pretty common. And so if you're starting to collect this toy line, it's going to be a pain in the tail to try to find because other people are going to be wanting to sell it. You could actually find this on Mercari. You can go anywhere on Mercari from about $20, but then there's the shipping and handling that could range anywhere from $8 to $9 as well. So it's
So you recommend this figure?
I do recommend this figure. I recommend this figure a lot. Pretty much because this is my first Batman toy as a child. So opening them up and actually get to have your own type of stories with Batman, especially doing reenactments with the movie and everything. I mean, it's pretty much on a personal level. I recommend this toy because it's just been above and beyond what I believe, in my opinion. That is.
So what do you rate this?
If I rate this toy, the toy itself, I would give it about close to a 9.
Okay.
Only because if you're going to be like really picky about how it looks, if you look completely at the face, you're going to notice that the eyes, they have like the bubbles in the eyes where it looks like they should have been eyeballs
Okay.
in a sort of way,
Mm-hmm.
which obviously, depending on the card, obviously straight white, just like the comics, but that's probably going to be the only blemish I'm really going to give it is the eyes because having those bubbles, it just doesn't really make any type of sense.
And the cape is made out of material, correct?
Yes, the cape is actually the same cloth material. It's actually the same material that they would use for the Hasbro WWF figures for the Undertaker rare figure, where he had the different trench coats.
Okay.
The one that was secret rare for Undertaker was the actual cloth. This is about the same material. Same material that they use for Superman's cape, for the DC superhero line, and for the superpowers, figure line. But the body, pretty good shape. I love how they tried to go full detail in between the gauntlets to the shin guards, even to the utility belt itself, even though it's supposed to be like just the bat rope hook, full detail going on, just like in the movie. Body armor structure.
How long does this line last for? This specific one?
This specific line, back in the day when it first relaunched in '89, you can actually still get this toy right around 1991. Before Batman Returns toy line came into faction. So even like the old stores like Ames, Hills, they would actually still sell the old renditions of this figure along with the superhero franchise where you can get Two-Face, Mr. Freeze, Penguin, and of course your own Marvel superheroes too, like your Incredible Hulk, for example. But other than that, it pretty much was out in the circuit for about 3 years.
Now with the Batman Returns line, did they reuse the same mold?
They didn't use the same mold. What they did was is that they reused the same mold for the Dark Knight Legacy collection, which was the continuation for this particular Batman movie franchise.
Got it.
Like for the Joker, for vehicles and all that. For the
Okay.
different renditions of Batman figures, I think there was at least over about a dozen or so more. One of them being the ever popular gray and blue color, just like for the comics. But that one was the better structure line because it actually did the better Keaton face for it.
Okay.
But that was for the Dark Knight collection, and then it went on into Batman Returns.
Very cool.
But all in all, the whole entire thing, in general, if you were to go a nostalgia line, I give it a 9.5 because of the personal thing that I have for it. Sculpt wise, the only issue I have is just the eyes, 9.2. Other than that, I give it an all around rating of a 9.5, 9.6.
And did the grappling belt hold up over time?
Depending on how hard you pulled it. Max weight of the belt, believe it or not, is 3 figures. I've tried it with the Joker, I've tried it with DC Superhero Line Robin, and of course with Bob the Goon. But if you were to try to continue on to using it like for anything heavier, it will eventually snap.
Okay.
And the more times you pull on it, especially pretty hard, the cord will eventually frayed, and then eventually it'll actually come apart from the belt itself, and the rope will actually retract inside of the body.
So you don't recommend abusing it over and over again?
No. It will last over time as long as you don't continue to abuse the belt.
So any last words?
I would pretty much, if you want to start an entire Batman collection, this will probably be the way to go. Only because when you think about how nostalgia really picked up in the 80s, going into the 90s, these were the toys to get, this particular toy line. It doesn't just end with what you see here of the Batwing, the Batmobile, the Batcave, and the 3 figures. There's also the Bat Cycles. There's also the Joker Cycle. There's also even the ever famous like projector gun that they did. There's also even, which I discovered just the other day, they actually have like almost like a vintage electrical video game, which just blew my mind completely. That one is very rare to get because it's just one of those things that you never knew existed until you start searching for Batman, and then you come across so many new things. Like it's just crazy, even for how old the toy line is. But if you want to start out, this would be a good way to start because, like I said, this version is a common figure, and you can almost instantly get that Mercari, eBay, or if you want to just go on a vintage toy hunt up in Jersey, more than likely you will find it at one of the homegrown stores. Like I said, I found one just the other day of a different version.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
So is this going to be a regular thing? Yeah.
It could be a regular thing. Try
Okay.
it, try out. I got several different pieces besides just the figures. There's also like Batcave itself. I could probably bring out of storage.
Okay. Very cool.
So,
Well, again, this is PC. He'll be doing possibly weekly Batman reviews. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you like this Batman figure review. It's a very, very cool figure. I do recommend it, even though we're Hulk fans. But hey, I hope you enjoy the weekly Batman content. Please smash the like button, subscribe if you like, hit that notification bell, and you will see daily Hulk content and possibly weekly Batman content, which would be pretty cool. So have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Say bye. Peace.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.